they push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. They push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. Me I want quite a thing to flop joy. Yeah, but Marabu never stop me from shining. And they see from your body. Put your hands up, make me the tanga. To say good, no man, but now I'm alive today, my life in a testimony. Baba Gado, I go give you the praises. Baba Gado, if not for you, Jaya, I'm on the brother, I didn't bring it from mine. My body, man, my brother, I didn't bring it from nobody man, they push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. They push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. She back at the spin of my toe. For me to have. Sure. And I told you. They push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. They push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. Me I want quite a thing to flop joy. Yeah, but Marabu never stop me from shining. And they see from your body. Put your hands up, make me the tanga. To say good, no man, but now I'm alive today, my life in a testimony. Baba Gado, I go give you the praises. Baba Gado, if not for you, Jaya, I'm on the brother, I didn't bring it from mine. My body, man, my brother, I didn't bring it from my body, man, they push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. They push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. She back at the spin of my toe. For me to have. Sure. And I told you. They push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. They push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. Me I want quite a thing to flop joy. Yeah, but Marabu never stop me from shining. And they see from your body. Put your hands up, make me the tanga. To say good, no man, but now I'm alive today, my life in a testimony. Baba Gado, I go give you the praises. Baba Gado, if not for you, Jaya, I'm on the brother, I didn't bring it from mine. My body, man, my brother, I didn't bring it from my body, man, they push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. They push me forward and they see. They make me happy and they see. She back at the spin of my toe. For me to have. Sure. happy and I see. Una they push me forward and I see. Una they make me happy and I see. Me I want quite a thing to flop joy. Yeah, but Marabu never stop me from shining. And I see from your body, put your hands up, make me the tanga. To say good, no man, but now I'm alive today, my life in a testimony. Baba God, I will give you the praises. Baba God, if not for you, Jaya, I wouldn't die. My brother, I didn't bring it from mine. My body, man, I'm gonna. My brother, I didn't bring it from mine. My body, man, Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. She back at the spin in my car. For me to have. And I told it. Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. Me I want quite a thing to flop joy. Yeah, but Marabu never stop me from shining. And I see from your body, put your hands up, make me the tanga. To say good, no man, but now I'm alive today, my life in a testimony. Baba God, I will give you the praises. Baba God, if not for you, Jaya, I wouldn't die. My brother, I didn't bring it from mine. My body, man, I'm gonna. My brother, I didn't bring it from mine. My body, man, Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. She back at the spin in my car. For me to have. And I told it. Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. Me I want quite a thing to flop joy. Yeah, but Marabu never stop me from shining. And I see from your body, put your hands up, make me the tanga. To say good, no man, but now I'm alive today, my life in a testimony. Baba God, I will give you the praises. Baba God, if not for you, Jaya, I wouldn't die. My brother, I didn't bring it from mine. My body, man, I'm gonna. My brother, I didn't bring it from mine. My body, man, Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. Una they push me forward and they see. Una they make me happy and they see. She back at the spin in my car. For me to have. And I told it.
your host, Fritz Misori, presenting to you this special show. Today is a special show for the Resource and Mobilization Committee. They want to come up and explain to you how far the various counties and AGAs have gone with their draft. And they also want to launch a very special program that the President, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Ekomesako, will be going to all the counties, will be doing a county visit tour to give some certifications to all those who have finished their pledges, who have redeemed their pledges. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have on the show, we'll be having the directors of the Resource and Mobilization Committee will be coming on, and they'll be giving you a rundown of what has been going on with the drafts. Because I know many people have been asking what is going on with the draft, but of course, everybody saw the 1st of October. That was just a sample of what the draft have been doing within the counties and LGs. So, ladies and gentlemen, hit your share button. Hit your share button. I know you are very busy today, but I hope all of you are doing well in ground zero and ground one. And ladies and gentlemen, before I start, hit your share button. Hit your share button. Yeah. So I'll introduce to you one of the directors of the Resource and Mobilization Committee. All of you must know him. He has been working so hard during this draft, and he has done a lot to make sure that the draft was a very success. And we want to thank Uncle Nijo, who is here with us live on studio. And we'll also be having Ma Irene and Dr. Yaya. Yes, we'll have, you see, that's Nijo, the chief himself. Is right here in the studio of ABC TV. We'll have Dr. Yaya, who is also here with us. We'll also have Ma Irene, who will be coming due to some technical reasons. So, Uncle Nijo, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Uncle Nijo, are you with us? Yeah, go ahead, Nijo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting you. I'm listening you. Okay, so while we are trying to fix the technical issue, Dr. Yaya, can you introduce yourself?
Jesus.
Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, 5 on 5.
Oh, thank you so much, Comrade Fritz. Once again, it's an honor to be here on our national TV, to talk to our people. Yeah, introduce myself. I'm simply Comrade Yaya. My people know me. And yeah, it's another great day. It's an exciting day. Yeah, we didn't really have much time to talk about this, to publicize this. But as we know, the revolution is on the go. Things happen fast. So a soldier is always ready. So the resource mobilization is up again with their with their great initiatives. We saw the wonderful work they did during the award draft. And so this is the post phase with very exciting news, as you already gave the highlights. So I'll leave that for them to spice it all up. And I'm hoping and praying that the connection issues will be resolved pretty soon. So please welcome all of you who are watching last minute. Just share and invite more people. Let's talk about the post award draft phase. Quite exciting news coming up. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Yaya, and I hope Nijo, can you hear us? Nijo, are you on? So ladies and gentlemen, while waiting for Nijo, please hit your share button, so that we can start. This is a special show to inform you that the president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia will be going round to all the counties. It's a very special tour, a tour of Meet the People's tour by the president, His Excellency Samuel Ekome Sako. So we are here to introduce to you this tour, and the mission of the tour is about the Resource and Mobilization Committee going around to deliver certifications that will be given by the president himself. So for those who have redeemed their pledges, know that the president will be giving you a certification. And we know that this Sunday, they are starting with Kupe Maningumba. So those in Kupe Maningumba, know that the president will be visiting you this Sunday, 7 p.m. Amber time. Dr. Yaya.
That's exactly right, Comrade Fritz. Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I seem to be a bit delayed on my gadget. Yes, exactly. We had an exhaustive 2 months, very productive, very successful. And yeah, people may be asking, so what's going on now? Do we have another draft? I would have loved the resource mobilization to actually spill this, but because it's taking a bit of time to get them connected, I may go ahead and try to explain, what their project is all about. So this is the post-draft phase, so to say, and the president thought that it was very necessary to reach out to the people again of Amazonia and say thank you. First of all, this is a message of gratitude and of acknowledgement, for the sacrifices made towards ground zero to make sure that our revolution moves on in the right direction. So this is the first thing, and also to remind our people that our suffering people are still suffering. In as much as we said the draft is, could be paid over for a year, we're actually encouraging people to pay as soon as possible, appreciating the fact that people have difficulties, especially during these times of COVID and all the challenges that come with it. But the situation and the suffering back home is real. It hasn't really changed. People are still being killed every second. So if you have the means, please pay your draft as soon as possible and not wait for the 31st, because the enemy, the wicked oppressor keeps killing our children, our sisters, brothers, fathers and mothers every second as we speak. So please don't wait till the 31st of December to complete your draft. Do so, push yourself, create a little discomfort for yourself, just to tell Ground Zero that you do connect with your suffering, and this is your own beat of the sacrifice. So this is really the message of gratitude, of hope, and also this could also be seen as some form of accountability and feedback. This is a government that has actually learned or keeps learning, as we go, and yeah, no one was called for a revolution, and people have cried and talked about accountability and all that, and measures have been put in place to make sure that this is the case. So it's also, a feedback kind of meeting to find out how the counties are doing, and also to exchange, the vision and the projects that the president has in terms of the war draft project. Yeah. So I don't know if our able resource mobilization team is connected now. I hope I didn't say something contrary to what they plan to.
Oh, Nijo.
Nijo, we can see you dressed like the real chief. Can you hear us? Nijo. You can see Nijo there on the screen. It's really a pity that we cannot hear him.
Yes. No, just for the sake of some technical issues, we shall be discussing while waiting for them. We know Nijo will be joining us very soon, ladies and gentlemen. Hit your share button while you're joining. Hit your share button. We have a lot to discuss about the draft. During the draft, we had so many counties that drafted. We saw Momo County with one of the highest draft, almost $600 something thousand. That was one of the highest, and we want to still give the people of Momo a kudos and thank you for their draft. It was wonderful. The people of Momo, the people of different counties came out, in their numbers.
I can hear now.
Hello?
I can hear.
Yeah, we can hear Nijo now.
Yeah, I can hear. Oh, my apologies.
Okay.
Oh,
You're welcome,
say-
Nijo. Welcome to the show, Nijo.
thank you, Comrade Freeze. I could see you guys hit, could see your lips vibrating, and then I know, could imagine you were talking, but unfortunately, I couldn't hear you. Yeah, but the gods of Amazonia are on, and I can hear you now, and hopefully you can hear me.
Yes,
That's
five of
great.
five.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, greetings to your viewers and sincere apologies. Hopefully, from this end, and my pleasure to be with you on the same platform this evening. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for joining us, Nijo. Before we start, we'll just have a minute of silence for our fallen heroes and to tell them that we are still fighting for them, that they went, but we are behind them and we are going to keep keeping them in our soul and mind. Let's have a minute of silence for them, everybody. Thank you very much. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. And we thank all of them for
Amen.
fighting for us and
Yeah.
using their blood for us. And we are informing them that we're gonna keep fighting and until we reach Boya. So, Nijo, can you go ahead and introduce yourself? I know some people know you, and most people don't know that you are the machine behind the draft.
Oh, thank you. The machine. Right. I'm Nijo. I'm in the UK with my family. Dr. Yaya would testify that. She's next door to me in Germany, but she grew up with us here in the
Yes,
UK.
sir.
And Comrade
Yeah.
Fritz, it's my pleasure to be with you on the same platform. I'm
Thank you.
actually the left leg of right leg that makes the body of the RM. So introducing myself is might be incomplete. Usually, I always like to introduce myself attached to the main body, resource mobilization, and the right leg is usually my arena, and then I can always be then known as Nijo. But to introduce myself on my own seems incomplete. But I'll do that to get us going, while Myron can join us later.
Yeah. So, Dr. Yaya, yeah, can you go ahead?
Sorry, Comrade Fritz, was that to me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I mean, what else can I say? I just want to join you to welcome Nijo, our who is part of the powerful wheel, usually behind the scenes, behind the camera. Like we always say, there's so many hands that make push the wagon, forward. And there's so many that are never heard, so many that are never seen, that are doing a fantastic job on the background. And we are always grateful to these people. But this team, the resource mobilization team and the volunteers, they did a tremendous, tremendous job, as we all witnessed, during the award, phase, so to say. It was a hectic yet exciting time where we all look forward towards this Sundays, to gather as one family with a common purpose, to free homeland. That was really a patriotic exercise, and I think a huge success for which our people should really be proud of. So, yeah, Nijo is part of this machinery. And of course, my eye is still struggling to get connected. So please stay tuned, invite, share, and bring more people on board to hear about the exciting updates, planned by this department, of course, led by the President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Ikomesaku. So, yeah, Nijo, maybe we should just start by asking what is this project? Are you on for a second draft? We were of the opinion or impression that the draft is once a year and it's barely 2 months. What are you guys up to?
Right. Thank you, Comrade Yaya. I think one of the things I've always told Amazonians is to choose who they listen to. For those your viewers who are constantly listening to ABC and watching ABC on Facebook and ABC on this platform, know that Ambazonians have gone through just one draft. And before I go into that, actually, Comrade Fritz, if you permit me, please, one of the things we are doing at Resource Mobilization and Ambazonia as a whole is that we are trying to design, and we're building a country that is going to be exemplary in many ways. I'm going to take a step back, and I apologize for your viewers, but I'll still come back to answer your question. But I need us to conceptualize a minute of silence or a moment of silence or whatever title we give it going forward as far as this struggle is concerned. I think, and I would suggest here very strongly, that when we're doing this moment of silence, we need to be reading the names of the departed. We need to be reading the names of those people who have been slaughtered for this revolution. That makes people and whoever is watching us realize that this is real. When we say moments of silence and we just keep quiet and silent without reading names, it loses the purpose. So going forward, and you can take my word on this and quote me anywhere, I'm suggesting that going forward from here, from next week when the president will be visiting counties, when we go to any county, during that moment of silence or moment of a minute of silence, we should read out the names of those fighters, the names of those victims. We might not read all of them in a go, but let us owe this respect to every person. And the current restoration forces would realize that their names will be read if it happens to them. I will know that if it happens to me, my name will be read. You would know. So we need to move forward. We have done this silence for a while. We need to take a step forward and let other people learn from us. Ambazonia, the picture we have of Ambazonia is going to be a leader in Africa. And we start being a leader by doing little things in a special way. So my appeal is, let us modify these moments of silence or minute of silence during our deliberations and spread this information to our LGAs and our counties each time they sing the national anthem, our beloved national anthem, and they have a moment. They could read 5 names this week. Next week, they could read the next 5 names. We know thousands have been slaughtered. We cannot read all those names in one go, but we need to have a register and respect that register and read all those names, and we can read them over and again. But we have to do that. Otherwise, just keeping silence with thousands slaughtered, to me, is incomplete. Please, let's take this as a sense of duty and a sense of respect to those who have departed, so that as we run these programs and we do this, we know that when it happens to you and I, next week, next month, next year, in 10 years, 20 years, our name will be read to those who will be listening, because we died fighting for the liberation that we're fighting for. We are not going back. We are not stopping this. This is going to continue until we achieve it. And I rest my case. Thank you very much. And I hope that the powers that be can take this and we move forward. Please, every county, every LGA, keep a list of all the restoration forces, all the victims, all the civilians who have been killed in your LGA, who have been slaughtered by the Laropolitic forces. Keep a list of them and read those names during your meetings, during your deliberations, during your moments of silence, 5, 10, depending on the duration and the number you have, and repeat them once you run over the list. And please submit. You need to submit these names of people in your relatives, your villages, your LGAs, your precincts, your villages form precincts. So we need this list for us to exercise this. Thank you very much. Now, the question was, Have we finished with draft 1 and we're already thinking of draft 2? To give a clearer answer, I was bringing out of the idea that for your loyal listeners will not have that question. This question we are bringing in here and answering here are questions that were brought from somewhere else. Questions flying in the social media. For your loyal listeners, we know that we are in the process of drafting. We are still drafting for 2020. With the deadline we set ourselves was December. We're still in October. We're still collecting. People are paying their pledges. They said it was money that would not be realized. But in my LGA, I can proudly tell you we've collected more than 40%. 40%. Okay? We didn't have 10% of that before the draft. We've now collected 40% of the pledges. If that is not better than nothing, then they are winning. But if you think 40% is better than nothing, we are winning. And we are focused on redeeming all the pledges. For any Amazonian who pledged with good faith, any Amazonian who pledged in good faith to support the struggle, the deadline is December. We have not picked a date in December, but we can say December ends on the 31st of December. You have the duty as an Amazonian to redeem your pledge by the 31st of December. If you want us to fail by not redeeming your pledge, excuse me, you might be failing because 40% of those who pledge in my LGA have paid up. So we're not going to fail. Looking at, I have the records, we've worked on the records day in, day out. The least LGA, the least county, let's put it in contextual county. The least county is on 35%. The least county to our records as of date is on 35%. Now, anybody who thinks that 35% is an equivalent value to 0 is not an Amazonian and is somebody dreaming. They're in a different world. But we continue to appeal to those other 65% of those counties that are dragging themselves behind. So choose the people you listen to. I have a long list, but the number one is ABC Amber TV. That is our national source of information. Listen to the ABC either on Facebook, on YouTube, or live on your satellite TV and get the information from them. We are appealing to you to redeem your pledge so that we can realize the projects that we aim. These projects were aimed in your local LGA, in your village. If you pay a penny and that penny was spent in another village or in another county, speak to us, complain to the ABC, complain to Dr. Yaya, complain to Comrade Fritz, complain to the Resource Mobilization through me or Myri that I paid $50 and the $50 will be spent somewhere else. I was told that it will be spent in my LGA, they spent somewhere else. This is all the information that I've got to give the Amazonians that are listening to ABC. Amazonians that listen to any other platform or read, who have time to read different platforms and different Facebooks or different WhatsApp groups, please, if you can spare that time and read all those other ones, spare a little moment and read and listen to ABC Amber TV. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you very much. I'm happy to add more flesh to the substance.
Thank you, Nijo. Dr. Yaya, permit me to ask Nijo this question. We have seen the success of this draft, and I still don't understand why people don't understand the success of this draft. Because when we look at the 1st of October, there was every reason to understand that this draft have done something very, very significant. So, Nijo, I want you to tell the Ambazonia people what you saw on the 1st of October. It was thanks to the draft. So try to explain to them that this draft is not just money, it's action on the ground.
Comrade Fritz, thank you. I take the point that you, when you asked the first question, you expected me to get into that. But I remember when we in secondary school and we're doing the sciences and you asked a question, some questions were over answered and some were under answered. But I tried, always as a student, to stay and answer the question that is asked. The first question was whether we have completed draft one or already moving into draft two. My answer was simple no. We focused on draft one. Now, the second question you've just asked is, how is draft one going, or how are the funds that have been drafted in draft one and in draft one being spent? Yes, because we haven't. ABC hasn't talked about the second draft or the third draft. We focused on the first draft. Now, what have we done with the funds that have been paid in already? As I said, 30%, 35% is the least income from counties. But my LG is 40%. You're asking me a direct question, what have we done with the 40%? Right. Anybody, and I'm using your example of the 1st of October celebration. Let me take you back. 2017, there are lots of videos to remind us how we celebrated 2017, 1st of October 2017. There are lots of videos to remind us how we celebrated 1st of October 2018. There are many videos out there reminding us how we celebrated the 1st of October 2019, just last year. And of course, even ABC still broadcasting videos that show how we celebrated 1st of October 2020. Any Ambazonian who wants me to sit on this platform and tell them how this struggle has transformed from 2017 to 2020, looking at just one aspect of the struggle, the 1st of October celebration, is not a committed Ambazonian, because I know how the celebrations of 1st of October have progressed from 2017 through 2018 through 2019 and how it happened this year. And if I was to take a step forward in my life, I can imagine how 1st of October celebration next year is going to look like. I'm not going to go there. That's not what your question asked. You wanted this year. I can't say any more than reminding Ambazonians to tune to ABC and watch the programs, tune to County Roots, tune to all the programs that ABC broadcast to see how 1st of October 2020 was celebrated. If you as an Ambazonian can notice any difference, it is because of draft. If that difference you're noticing was diminishing, the celebration was disappointing, was letting us down, letting the struggle down, it was due to draft. If your experience shows that the celebration was an upgrade from what it was in the other years to what it was this year, it's because of the draft. And that was not even one of the main issues of the draft. But take in mind, my assessment is that the celebration this year was miles ahead of what happened the previous year. And I'm imagining next year it will be tenfold better, because we've drafted this year. If all that draft money comes in, we might think about next year, but we want to focus on this year, and the celebrations were great, so they might be greater next year. I'll expect that I have a pass grade in the answer to your question.
Dr. Yaya.
I would say so, Nijo. Look, you answer like a wise man, and I really appreciate that. I now endorse your friendship, but I hope it's not the type of friendship we have or see nowadays, where shamefully, you know, what do I say, revered, respected funds are getting involved in politics to the point where they're actually placing their membership or candidacy, for elections. It's very degrading. It is a dishonor to our tradition and really to the gods of our land. Despicable. But yes, thank you for that very smart answer. I think if I understood my co-moderator, my able comrade Fritz, what he was trying to get out of you or to respond to our people or maybe our skeptics out there is what have you done with the draft as usual? They have a right, of course, to know what the money was spent for. We're building a democracy. Okay?
Dr. Yaya, if you let me, if they drafted.
Yes, please.
That's
right. And I was just getting to the point. We have to be open and transparent.
Thank you.
That's correct. But of course, we know those who ask questions out of genuine search for information, and those who ask questions just to, criticize or bring down the system. And the answer finally goes back to what you're saying, if they drafted. Because if you drafted, that's implied that you're active or at least present within your LGA or county structure. And if you attend your meetings, you're going to be briefed on what's happening. So I expect, and I don't think that Ambazonians of sound minds will expect people to sit on TV, on national TV, and as much as we want to inform and educate people, to talk about certain details. So please go to the roots. And this is one of the great things I think this government has actually done, decentralizing power, not being a one-man show as was a very popular criticism, so to say. They take counsel because we have seen the efforts to actually decentralize power in a lot of areas, by creating the LGA structures, in terms of a bottom-up, grassroots form of governance. And also with the issues that people complain about, my trip to Boya, a lot of them fail to see that this was a product of a systemic error where you had a one-man show or one person controlling, major parts of the system. Now we have a treasury board. We have so many different boards that needs so many heads to sit and deliberate and take democratic decisions. And so this has actually curbed all those, possibilities of things going wrong. So yeah, anybody who wants to know the details, go to your county, attend your meetings, be part of it. You're definitely going to have first-hand information. And Nijo, I also wanted to really thank you for bringing up this point of recognizing our fallen heroes. There's a huge difference when you say something and generalize in comparison to when you actually call those names. Imagine being maybe the mother of a child who was fallen, or the wife of a husband, or the husband of a wife, or whatever, grandmother. When you hear people call and recognize the name of your relative, I think that just gives, it takes it to a different level. That recognition of your pain, the pain of the family, and also the sacrifices that person has made for our freedom. I mean, we all live in modern day where we go to places, you have public cemeteries that are actually touristic sites, actually bringing money, and not only that, but making people to understand, to know and remember the fallen heroes. We also want to do that in Ambazonia. We want to have a war museum where we'll have all those names of our heroes written down and respected, and having a day like we have the Veterans Day celebrated around the world. Why not? Ambazonian Soul Restoration Forces are our veterans. So yes, this is a plea again, just adding to your voice to all the county and LGA chairs to actually make sure that in the heat, there's so much happening at a very fast pace. But let us make time for this, for this humanitarian connection, so to say, with the families. Get down the list of the people who have died, and document them somewhere because we really do need it. Thank you. Thanks. I think I've talked too much. I'll hand over to my co-moderator, Comrade Fritz. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Yaya. Nijo, let's stay focused on what is coming out this Sunday. The president will be going for this tour, and Ambazonian want to know what this tour is all about. Who are those who are going to be having their this certification handed to them by the president, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Sako Ikome? So, Nijo, can you tell the Ambazonian people how this tour is going to look alike? Whether it's each county per week, or is it 2 counties per week, so that people should be prepared for this presidential tour?
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Fritz. Again, pardon me, but I need to add a feather onto what Comrade Yaya just said before I come to your question. Comrade Yaya, one of the things we need to realize, as you're saying, putting those names is that such concepts would attract sponsorship to those counties. And the concept of the Ambazonian revolution is that we are teaching our masters, our colonial masters, La République du Cameroon, how to decentralize power. We want Donga Mantung to list all the people they have slaughtered in Donga Mantung, and Donga Mantung can use that list and appeal for sponsorship from international organizations without necessarily needing the support of somebody in Fako, or somebody in Meme, or somebody in Ngokutundia, or somebody in Lebielem. Any county, if you have your list, you can publish it. If you have set up, as one of the things we're going to do, encourage counties to set up. In the US, is called status 501c or something, but in Europe, Dr. Yaya, you correct me, it's a charity status. With a charity status, you can make these appeals and meet church organizations, private individuals, national institutions, and seek sponsorship for those victims' families. If you have a list of them, you can do that. But again, resource mobilization will come to those counties and discuss that. Comrade Fritz, excuse me, but this is something that I've been very passionate about, and I'm so pleased you've allowed me to air it on your platform. Then I'll come back to your question. I'll go back to 3 basic things. We can count 1, 2, 3. I will summarize the forthcoming visit into 3 categories. First, our chief, the head of our revolution, the president, will be visiting counties. 1, to say thank you to the 10%, 20%, 40% of us who have stayed awake, have volunteered, have sacrificed everything for this revolution. Just a thank you. That's one thing that's the first thing on his plate. He's going to thank you for all of what you've done. Thank you, Comrade Friends. Thank you, Dr. Yaya. Thank you, myself. Because I'm a son of Mezam. I don't think that 10% of us in Mezam, 10%, I may be wrong, maybe, to be generous, I don't think 25% of us, sons or daughters of Mezam, sympathize with this revolution. So the 20% of us or 25% of us who do the president is coming to Mezam to say thank you. Thank you for thinking that we can get out of this bubble. The second thing the president is going to be doing is looking at those, out of those 25%, how many people actually committed themselves to draft. To say, yes, I sympathize with this situation. I sympathize with the slaughtering of our people. I sympathize with the exploitation. I sympathize with the economic sabotage that we've had in Southern Cameroon over the years. And I think I'm going to support you with $1,000. Just for thinking that the president is coming to Mezam to recognize that. It's going to Bowie to recognize that. Comrade Freak, sorry, I don't know which county you belong to. If you let me know, I don't mind. Meme, oh, Meme is coming to Meme to thank you. And I expect you drafted.
Yes.
Thank you.
I did.
The third thing the president is going to do is to present. Now, we know that if I'm showing you my fingers, they're not all the same, are they? They all belong to me, but they're not the same. So we know that you might have a good will to support a cause, but circumstances, the current pandemic has thrown quite a few of us into situations that are untenable. Very, very difficult family situations. We know that. Individually, people have different circumstances. But for those people who were in category 2, who thought about sympathizing with this and pledging, but for the pandemic or for other reasons have not been able to meet that pledge, the president is coming to say, we recognize your sacrifice, we recognize your goodwill, thank you. On the third category are those people who have actually kept their word, because the deadline is December, but we're still in October. For those the third category, for those people who have actually paid, and believe you me, people have paid more. People pledge $1,000. I have in my LGA, people have paid more than $1,000. So the president is coming for that group of people to say thank you. And when we launched draft, we told every Ambazonians, when you complete your draft, you will receive a certificate signed by the president. That is what the third group of people are doing, because we still got this other two who will be meeting up that third category. But we want to recognize, we want to appreciate, the president wants to say, we Ambazonians are keeping our word and thanking you for the sacrifice, for keeping your word. It's not December yet. You've done it before December. It's like Mount Fako race. Some people finish on the same day. Some people finish one day after. I'm a marathon runner. When the people who win it run and I finish after 6-7 hours. But I've done it. And the people giving the prizes usually are patient enough to wait for some of us to come. But those people who finish 2 hours, 3 hours, get their certificate in the morning and go away. They can choose to run the race again, and support their friends and family, but they should have their recognition. They would have their recognition. That's what the president is going to say. We promised you this. This is your certificate. Thank you, and thank you. Those are the three categories of people that the president is moving around to see and do those things that I've listed. I hope that answers your question. And all other Amazonians who are doubting, we need to do this and to encourage those first two groups to say, join your brothers and sisters who are in the third group. We would also come back to give you a certificate. Thank you.
So, Dr. Yaya, if I may add something, Nijo, do you have the program already so that people should know the program about the various counties that you'll be visiting? I know on Sunday is Kupe Maningoba, so that people can know how to get prepared so that they can get ready for the visit.
Yeah, we're designing a country, Amazonia, a democratic country where governance belongs to the people. To exercise that, the president doesn't sit in his office and sign and say, I'm coming to Mezam on the 10th of August, whether you're ready or not. That's not the country we're designing. We have given a platform dates from this weekend to when it should end. And because all our county chairs have a group, like in Jangi House, they all meet there regularly and they discuss their issues. So we've given that span of dates and said, look, you've got your chairman, take these dates. The president would like to visit all of you, 13 of you. Choose the date that is convenient for you when you think that your people will be ready to welcome the president, and let us know. That's what resource mobilization and the presidency has done. We don't want to say we're going to Mezam on this date and get to Mezam and Mezam is not ready. We don't want to say we're going to Bui on this date and get to Bui and they're not ready. We have given the options to the chairmen, chairladies of those counties to say, tell us when you're ready, and the president will be there. But the time is allocated for this visit is from this date to this date. That's the democracy we're practicing, we're putting in practice, that's what we're designing. So the dates that you say beginning this weekend, those are the counties that have opted to say, we are ready. The president can start with us. Thank you.
Dr. Yaya.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks, Comrade Chris. Sorry, Comrade Fritz. Just to answer your question, at least for this weekend, we have 2 counties coming up. On Saturday, the 24th of October, meaning this Saturday, we've got Ngoketunjia County, and on Sunday we've got Kupe Mwanenguba. So we expect as the different counties would have deliberated, with their teams and chosen a slot that's going to be announced, surely on the days of the draft. I want to think at least by Sunday we should know who is coming next the following weekend, I guess. Nijo.
And Dr. Yaya, please always add that Ambazonians to follow ABC. That is where we're going to announce the itinerary. We're not going to announce it on those other platforms that cause all the confusion. Let them choose to follow this through the ABC. That is where we'll give them itinerary. That's why I don't want to tell you the president is going on this day, on this day, this day, this day, because I want you to listen to ABC next week and hear when the president is coming to your county. It is only on ABC that you would hear that information, or through your LGA chair or through your county chair. Thank you.
Sure. That's a very important point. I mean, the ABC is our national TV, and the most formal source of authentic information, reliable information. So of course we encourage every motherland loving comrade to tune in and get first-hand information through our national TV. So what's next? Is Mai joining us? Because I was looking forward to having her to give a feminine spiel to all of this, spicing it all up. Nijo, no offense, you're doing a wonderful job, and women do better.
I'm happy to let go my seat for my boss.
I know you're a proper gentleman. I know that. Tell us a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
You're a very humble man. So, Nijo, tell us. I mean, the draft exercise. This was very, very, very exhausting. I mean, as a firm player, a bit further out there in terms of those who were actually responsible and active, I felt really tired. I mean, physically. How did you do this? Just give us a little bit, because sometimes when we see the final product, we may just think, oh, this is easy stuff. How did you put all of this together? I mean, I know, it's teamwork, but just give us a little, picture of what your weeks look like. That way, I think sometimes when people criticize, they can take a deep breath and learn to appreciate before, throwing criticisms. Thank you.
Thank you. I would I think you're looking at this from an angle that most people have this doubt in their minds, and usually the final product in a market is very easy to criticize or to praise, and then you ignore the sacrifices that people have put in the background. If I take myself for instance and take a county like Mezam, because I'm from Mezam, I don't want to say it, but every county had the same issues. One of the things we need to realize is that the concept of the draft became popular along the line. It gained momentum as we moved from one county to the other. So we started Manu, Bui, Ngokutia, and so on. And if my statistics knowledge, I'm not an expert in statistics, but if you the giants of ABC, if you look at your audience numbers, it will confirm this, that if you were to plot a graph, that graph would have a steep incline showing that each week you had more people listening and turning on and so forth. For that to have happened was we needed to sell the idea to those Amazonians who were on the fence, didn't know whether they were inside or outside. And that meant we had to organize training, we had to get the structure of the county set up from the presence, which are the villages, list the villages, then get the LGAs, how many villages make each LGA, and then how many LGAs are in this county, and get the executives installed and functional. Because one of the things you don't want is somebody in Jakri LGA, to use Bui, Dr. Yaya, if you let me, paying their money to the treasurer of the Kumbu LGA. That's already setting in confusion or creating gaps for questioning. So we endorse with the idea that if you were in a Noni LGA and you had a penny to pay, you should pay to the treasurer of the Noni LGA. And that is the key. And we moved from county 1 to county 13 and did the same thing. So every county had their LGA executive in place, and we grouped that county and, of course, did some training. One of the prides you would have is that someone like those of us in this resource mobilization had to split up and train 2 counties a day. So if I was doing Meme, for instance, on a Monday afternoon, Myrin would do Dian in the evening. But she would make sure she supports me with the training with Meme, Comrade Fritz. You would not, I scarcely run a session with Meme without Myrin popping in. If it's 10, 20 minutes, she'll be there. And when she's in Dian 2, 3 hours after I've done Meme, then I would pop in Dian for 10, 20 minutes to give her the support. We did that also. And why? Because we placed ourselves away from our comfort zones. We placed ourselves in the position, in the shoes of the restoration forces who are in the forests. We placed ourselves in the shoes of the internally displaced people. We placed ourselves in the shoes of the refugees living in Nigeria and Ghana and wherever they are. And these are people who are not sleeping. Why should I be sleeping because I'm in Europe? Why? When we are all in the same struggle. And that is where my inspiration, Dr. Yaya, to answer your question straight on, came from. I could imagine these people. I could imagine those people slaughtered in their homes. I could imagine those villages burnt down. I could imagine baby Mata being shot. I could imagine everything you could think that we have experienced in this struggle. And I'm asking myself, can you really go to bed? And if you have that concept in mind, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how tired you are, you just grind on. And that's what we used. And I hope that answers your questions.
Very well, and indeed that brings us to the thought, or brings me to that thought of the draft not just being all about money. You sometimes we get criticisms, like, oh, you guys sit on there, you dress well and all of that, while people are dying on ground zero, right? And what you just explained is much more deeper than, oh, it's just me paying $1,000. There is that emotional connection. The fact that you are telling yourself, by destiny, I am here. I did not, no one chose to be in ground zero or in the diaspora. So, first of all, I find that argument a bit skewed. It's about what you do wherever you find yourself, how much you put in order to fight for our freedom. And so that thought of beyond your $1,000, because it really cannot buy anybody's life, just that thought of, I can just make myself a little bit uncomfortable because there's a child or there's a youth who is running helter-skelter somewhere in the bushes, no man's land, without even clothing, without food, and exposed to wild animals. So I see this draft, when I keep saying it's a huge success, it's not just about counting money. It's about getting connected with ground zero. That distance, that physical distance was reduced by virtue of us trying to have a little bit, an inch of what we think, of what their suffering could be. And, I believe that this went a long way to also reassure and console ground zero somewhat. Comrade Fritz, do you want to add, or switch on to something else before we delve into the emotion?
Interrupting you, but I need to sound some caution here, because from what Dr. Yaya just said, and that's a fact. She just said what it is. Some people saying you wear suits and ties and you sit here under this. Now, this is where I advise people to listen to my wording. Choose who you listen to. Those of us who have drafted, those of us who have had this ourselves planted in these people's shoes, will not speak that language, because we are in it with them. The common phrase we have in this struggle is, we are in this together. Whether I can wear this shiny shirt and sit here, but mentally I am drained.
Yeah.
Mentally I am in Nigeria. Mentally I'm in the forest. So those people, and I appreciate you saying, they say you're wearing all these clothes, those people who say that are the people who are not with us. So what we do is we ignore them and we choose who you listen to. Sorry, my lighting is it's when I don't move, it goes off. So staying green. That's why sometimes I have to move to let it know that I'm in the room. So my apologies for that. But yeah. So thank you, Comrade Fritz. Come in. I just thought I advise people to choose who they listen to. Choose what platforms you read information from. Don't waste your energy. We haven't got energy to waste. We haven't got time to waste. Stay focused. Choose, follow the ABC. You will not hear language like that through the ABC. Thank you. Comrade Fritz, my apologies.
Yeah, thank you, me. You have been a force to reckon with during this draft, and I can tell you that you and Ma Irene have shown Ambazonian that people can be very committed in this struggle. We are all in this together. Some people don't understand that everybody sacrifices, and we are with this because we want the people back home to understand that those in the diaspora are not just we are working, we are trying to make sure that this thing succeed. And people in the diaspora should understand that those back home, they look up to us and they want us to be like an example for them to copy. And we cannot be in the diaspora. We are not facing the bullets. We are not facing the sufferings. Those people back home are suffering and they are going through all. So they expect us to even draft. I know those people who have lived in America and some other countries, they know that draft is something that is compulsory in some countries. When they talk about draft, if they say you are drafted in the military or you're drafted in the army or you're drafted in the navy, it means that you have to go to the military and fight. In countries like China, it's compulsory. All the boys, as you go to high school, you must join the military. In countries like South Korea, all the men are compulsorily in the military. But this concept of draft in this in this fight that we are fighting is that those people who cannot go back home should show their support for this struggle through drafting. But people don't understand. They think, oh no, that thing is just for some people. This draft is for everybody to be committed. It's to show your support as an Amazonian. So this commitment is not just for a particular set of people, or it's for everybody, especially those in the diaspora. So Nijo, can we connect a little bit between the county by county drafting and the draft for those in our POWs, our IDPs, and for the draft of the ABC TV? So can you give that connection so that people can understand how they can be drafting? Because we have now county by county drafting, and we also have the POW, the humanitarian draft, and we also have the ABC TV draft.
Comrade Fritz, I'll take two parts. I'll take your question in two parts, but the first part is probably I'll straighten the question and then I'll answer it, and then I'll go to the second part.
Yeah.
Draft, you said, in other countries is compulsory. So I was expecting you to ask if draft in Amazonia is compulsory. You didn't ask that, but I'm going to ask the question and I'm going to answer it.
Yeah.
Amazonia is, to use their language, is a Facebook country. So we haven't got the powers to reinforce our draft. But as you rightly said, for countries that have institutions, that have ways of reinforcing their rules, drafting into the military, drafting into whatever is compulsory. What we do in Amazonia is we're being very gradual. The last couple of years, we accept that we have been a Facebook country. We now have an interim government. We would lean on that interim government and gradually move the Facebook country that didn't have an interim government, gradually progress towards a country, a realistic country, with a government that progresses from interim government to a proper government. And we would enforce every draft like in every other country and every other rule. As specifically on this draft, if the Meme LGAs have not thought about how to reinforce the drafting philosophy in Meme, I can tell you and I can assure you, in my LGA in the Mezam County, we are already thinking on how those Amazonians in the diaspora who are ignoring this drafting, how we can deal with them. We might not have come to a conclusion, but we are already thinking about it. Just as we are thinking about building Amazonia, the Democratic Republic of Amazonia, the Federal Republic of Amazonia, we are also thinking about those people who have not drafted. So everything is there. We're taking our time, we'll get there. But we have hinted our restoration forces in my LGA and Mezam and in most counties in Amazonia that look, not every person in the diaspora has drafted. When you have an opportunity to check whether somebody has drafted, don't miss it. We in the diaspora can't check whether someone has drafted or not because we haven't got the powers to do that. But I tell you what, our restoration forces on ground zero have the powers. And we have discussed this and we're giving them the powers. If they have an opportunity to check whether somebody in the diaspora has drafted, they would do it in my LGA. They would do it in Mezam. most counties. I can list Ngokutundia, I can list BLM, I can list, I'm not sure about Meme, I'm not sure about Bui, but Amazonia is a progress, is work in progress. So by this time next year, this idea might have been bought over by 10 or 12 or all the 13 counties. So we're working on how to make this draft compulsory. Comrade Phrase, just to accept and thank you for the first part of the question and for the elaboration. And then on the second part, you asked about how the drafting, we can differentiate between drafting and supporting departments, because you talk about A, B, C, and the Department of Health and Social Security in the draft. A draft, we're using the word draft simply for convenience. Draft is a pledge to support a cause. You pledge to say, I'm going to support this cause. And so you have pledged. Draft is focused in your LGAs, in your counties. I support my LGA and I support ABC, Amber TV. Those are two different supports that I have decided willingly to support. So I support my LGA, which we are going to make compulsory, but the support for ABC is because I feel that ABC is such a core aspect of this revolution that needs to stay alive. So I support that one as well. And then I think about the internally displaced, I think about the refugees, and I think about health and social security. This is the department in the interim government that is looking after these displaced people. If I can support my LGA for projects in this revolution, I can support the ABC as a factor, a core aspect of this revolution. I should think about those Amazonians whose homes have been burned, who have been forced out of their localities, and they're living in simple. I can support them. So, as far as this draft is concerned, there are three aspects that I, as an individual, have pledged or have drafted, to use that word. So, I've drafted my LGA to support my county projects, my LGA project. I've drafted to support the ABC because it's a core aspect of this revolution, the educational aspect of this revolution, the information flow of this revolution. We need that. And of course, I have supported the internally displaced, I've supported the refugees through supporting or drafting for the HSS draft. So I did 3 supports, and I did another draft for the special ops. Special ops we call special operations. And I know, and if I could if permit me to use a couple of seconds of your platform to appeal to our donors on the special ops. We had the 1st of October in mind for our special ops. We missed it. We've got another date in mind. Special ops stands for special operations, means you will get the results. Sincere apologies, we missed the first target date, but special ops, we get our items in the black market. La Republique soldiers have the cover of the UN to carry arms in daylight and come into Amazonia and slaughter people with live bullets. We don't have that mandate to go into the market and also buy guns. So we have to operate in the black market. We have to operate in darkness. We have to operate under the table. It takes longer. And so I'm using this opportunity to appeal to everyone who pledged or who drafted for the special ops that it may be taking longer than you thought, but you will hear from us anytime from now. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Yaya.
Yes. Wow. I'm so carried just listening to Nijo speaking with so much passion and certitude, respect. So yeah, I'm not sure if we still got much to go. How many more minutes into the program?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Nijo if we were actually to summarize, what would he tell Amazonians what this phase, the next phase of the post draft recovery is about? He's giving a very, very detailed explanation, just a summary for maybe those who came in late, so that Amazonians are prepared to go on that same journey again with our president visiting all the counties, in recognition and acknowledgement of their sacrifices, and also encouragement for those who are doing their best, to do even much more. So, any special word and to the counties, county chairs and LGs, Nijo?
Yeah, thank you. That reminds me of the fourth class, and my special appeal to all the county chairs, all the LGA chairs, to say this is your special moment. Seize it. And as I mentioned, the first three classes, for the pressure of the moment, I forgot to mention the fourth class, which are those people who missed the opportunity to draft at the time that we drafted your county. We welcome your draft now. We know there are many people who have been drafting after the county and the LGS are drafted, but this is another opportunity. The president is visiting your county. If for whatever reason you were not ready when your county drafted or you did not participate, please turn up on the day that the president is in your county and draft. Again, the LGA chairs and the county chairs, this is an opportunity to appeal to your members that for those people who did not draft when your county drafted, the president is coming to appreciate those who drafted at that time, and also appreciate any new members that would be willing to join. And I can have, again, in my LGA, have 4 members from when Mezam drafted to now in my LGA alone, and Mezam has 7 LGAs. Now, if my little LGA has 4 members from when we drafted, drafting between that time and now, you look at bigger LGAs like Santa LGAs with 9 or 11 villages. If you my math is not very bad, but I think 4 times 9 is a good number. So convert that into pounds or dollars, thousands of dollars. That's a lot of money for the Santa LGA. Take another LGA like Tuba or Food. Please, in Mezam alone, if we can get every LGA to get 4 or 5 new draftees to come and join on the day the president is visiting in your county, Meme, for instance, Bui, for instance, that is a lot of money. So that will be the 4th class of people that the president will be coming to speak to. If you missed the first occasion, this is another occasion. So the chair ladies and chairmen of counties and LGS, please, this is an opportunity to appeal to your members to join us on the day that the president is coming to your county to join, to get onto the train that is moving. It's moving fast and gaining momentum to Boya. We will get there.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you so much, Nijo. I thought we were kind of rounding up, but something just crossed my mind actually. How do we know who has actually completed or has drafted? Again, during the draft season, we saw or heard a lot of news stories. As I say, this is just for fun, actually, saying, "Oh, these are all fake stuff. These things aren't real. Numbers are just being called, and people have been asked to actually call in and pledge." How do you actually get all these numbers? This is just taking us to the point of documentation and the seriousness of what we do. How do you know who has drafted and who hasn't?
Oh, that's a good question.
How do we know who's going to get a certificate?
Yes. Oh, I tell you what. Again, I have to take a live example from my LGA. We know the Bamenda 1 LGA has 8 of the 52 people who drafted that have already paid up. So those 8 people were getting their certificates on the day. Excuse me, I don't know when the president is coming to Mezam. Maybe in 2-3 weeks, we will have 2-3 other people complete their draft in my LGA, and the president on the day of presenting 10 certificates to Bamenda 1. I don't know how many, as in record keeping. When I say I don't know how many in Bamenda 2 or Bamenda 3, it's not that Mezam County hasn't got a list of every person who drafted. We do. But because I'm in Bamenda 1, my focus is on those people who have drafted in Bamenda 1 and have a list. And I expect the same in every LGA. And I expect every county chair to have the same details. Don't forget that the National Treasury is doing a wonderful job. If you cannot pay to your treasury, you can pay through the National Treasury. And there is a list that is published every week to say how much has been collected and how much is spending. So the data is there. What I'd advise Ambazonians is to choose who they listen to. Because those people who know that this data exists know it, and they will tell you that the data is there. If you're doubting who has drafted, who has not drafted, it's because you're not following who you should be following. We have the details. We have every person, every Ambazonian who has completed a draft would have a certificate. Their names are there with their LGA chairs, who would submit them to their county chair, and they'll get their certificate. And please listen to me. If you've paid off and you don't get a certificate, make your story be published in any of the platforms that serves Ambazonian. Don't just the ABC. But I tell you what, number one should be the ABC. And you can cite me to come and defend why you have paid your money, $1,000, and you've not had your certificate. But I tell you what, tell every other platform to publish that name. And if you have paid a penny and you have asked your LGA to give you a summary and they haven't, publish that question in every platform. Because if you have paid a penny, we would confirm that you have paid a penny, either through the National Treasury or through your county treasury or your LGA. Thank you.
Wow, thanks so much, Nijo. It seems a lot of background work is taking place from the moment of pledges being said out or spoken to them being actually honored. And what I can say exactly, with the example of my county, we have a committee that goes after the pledges, and then the financial secretary who liaises with the financial or the treasury board. They also match these numbers and make sure that all the books are up to date. It's a lot of background work and great teamwork, I would say. And this is one of the things that makes me feel very proud of this government, that is building really, really strong institutions and actually, distributing its roots all over to get as many people involved as possible. So there's a lot of inclusion that we see in this whole process. And I just want to thank you. And over to my colleague. Sorry for just being a woman and talking too much. Thanks. Fritz.
Thank you. I want to remind Ambazonians that many countries were part of some countries one time in their lifetime. Don't forget that Ambazonian, Southern Cameroon was once part of Nigeria. Countries like Singapore was once part of Malaysia. Bangladesh was once part of Pakistan. Eritrea was once part of Ethiopia. South Sudan was once part of Sudan. So, but they fought by drafting. That's what happened. Those in the diaspora, all Ambazonian citizens in the diaspora, are now called upon to join their LGAs and their counties and consolidate and resolve their fund for the fight and redeeming all their pledges. Please, because posterity is going to honor their patriotic focus. Tomorrow, your name will be on that book of record that you fought and liberate your homeland. So don't forget, it is during this challenging time that we'll have to focus. Forget about distractors. Let focus and focus and stay focused for the hope and prosperity of Ambazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, redeem your pledges and The president will be visiting all the counties and LGAs. This Sunday is Kupe Maninguba. Don't forget. So make sure that you redeem all your pledges so that the president will give you an award, a certificate. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll hand over to Dr. Yaya to round up. Thank you very much.
Dr. Yaya,
thank you so much.
Can I just say one final word, please?
Sure.
Freeze is just touch an angle that I will need to share something with your viewers this evening. I live in the UK, and the UK had been, just to use Comrade Freeze's language or concept, had been part of the EU from 1975 to 72, cannot remember exactly when, and they are peacefully withdrawing from that union. Peacefully.
Right.
No gun. No gun has been fired. If any, is been communications, talking with people. This is not any different from what we're looking to do with La République. Now, but the difference is the UK had a formal agreement with the EU on how they live together as members of the EU. But at this point, they decided to pull away, and they have the right to do that. Now, that's the opposite in our case, in that first, we don't have a formal agreement to say we're going to live together as it was agreed in 1961, so that if you're prime minister, if you're president, I'm prime minister, if you're prime minister, I'm president, or if you were to extract gas from Limbe, pay the council tax in Limbe, don't go and pay in Douala. Or there are lots of other examples I can give. Don't dismantle Cameroon Bank and take it to Yaoundé. Don't dismantle Cameroon Marketing Board from Kuba and take it to Douala and the rest of it. We didn't have that agreement, and that's what they did. And now we're telling them, right, we had enough of you, we want to leave. And what happened? Guns came out from all the factories in Europe and America, and nobody can stop them, because the Europeans and the Americans want us to stay where we are so they can stay on top of us as much as they can. That's why nobody is bothered whether they're killing us, they're not killing us. In this UK where they're living the EU, I can also cite, for those of you who are interested in international politics, Scotland has a political party, the Scottish National Party. Its number one aim, approved by the UK Parliament to exist as a party, is to fight for the independence of Scotland away from the UK. Right. In Cameroon terms is, I form a party called, I don't want to use SDF, but let me use Ambazonian National Party to fight for the liberation of Ambazonia from La République. And the members of parliament in Yaoundé pass it to say, yes, we approve that party. Do you see that happening? That is to the panel. Do you see that happening? Do you see my party being approved? No. That's the difference between the European mentality of doing things and us, where we come from, Africa, unfortunately. But that is us. But I tell you what, we're going to do without a national party. And we're going to do it. Thank you, guys. Sorry, Dr. Yaya, but I had to share this with you.
Well, no, thank you. Thank you so much, Nijo. It's been one interesting evening. And thanks so much, my able co-moderator, Comrade Fritz. We just want to remind our people that Saturday is the first day of the post-draft recovery with Ngoki Tunja, and on Sunday is with Kupe Manenguba. So please stay tuned. We look forward to having great times with you before the draft even starts. The press secretariat is certainly going to be out. And thank you for watching from Ground Zero and all over the world. Please do what is right. Do what your conscience tells you to do. I mean, if you have one. Sorry to be sarcastic. But thanks everybody, and thanks to the ABC for producing us tonight. and all the volunteers who actually helped to make sure this program took place. It's a pity we missed Ma'ai, but nevertheless, she'll be on over the weekend. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Put your hands up, make me the tanga. To say good no man by number and I'm alive today, my life in a testimony. Baba God, I go give you the praises. Baba God, if not for you, Jaya, I wouldn't die. My brother, I didn't bring it to push me forward and they see you. They make me happy and they see you. They push me forward and they see you. They make me happy and they see you. She back at just in the mic. So we don't have. Sure. And I told you. The nation is so united.